want to tell this story, okay? And this isn't about AI music, but I think it illustrates, how I kind of feel about AI music. My son, he's 6, and so this one night I tell him this story, and he's kind of tired, so he kind of lets me tell more of the story, but he chimes in with some of his details. I tell him this whole story, and we get to the end of the story, and he says, "That was a really good story, Dad." And I was like, "That was a good story." The next day, I still remember that story, and I think, "Man, that is a good story." And so something clicks my mind. I can make this book. So first thing I do, go to ChatGPT. I just type out really quickly like the synopsis of the story, right? Not word for word, not whatever, but just essentially everything that happened. Then I say, okay, can you make this into a book of about 20 pages? Or okay, so it gives it to me. I rework some of that. I don't just take everything it gives me, right? I go in and I edit it. I open up my InDesign document. I lay it all out in the pages. Okay, so I figure out how many different illustrations I need and what I want on each page. I use some images of my son to create because I want it to be about him. He of course was the main character in the book. So I create a little figure of him, and then I go in, I populate all these images. I know how to use Photoshop, so I put them in, page after page, and think, this doesn't look good. So I go use my Photoshop skills to just make little artistic changes to it so that it comes together and it's like this nice cohesive book. Okay, so I did that whole thing. Took me 2 weeks. I probably put about 10 hours into making it, right, with the assist of AI, doing the image generation and all that kinda stuff, and then I order it from Shutterfly, on just like a book for like $30 or something like that, and it finally comes, and I give it to him, and he's so excited. The thing that struck me about that was that, like, 5 years ago, I would have never made that book, and that's the point to me about AI music and saying, like, it's gonna replace people. It might, it could, but I think more to the point, it's gonna inspire people to make music that they wouldn't have otherwise made. Just in the same way, like, I could have made that book 5 years ago, but it probably would have taken me, like, 2 years to do all the illustrations, and I would have had a leg up being a graphic designer. I would have known how to do a lot of that, but it's labor intensive. It takes a lot of time. Um, it's possible. I would have never done it because the technology wasn't there, right? And that, I think, is just a good illustration of how I view AI music and why it's such a powerful tool. And I think it can be used for good and it can be used for bad.